So is it possible we go home from Green Bay, Gerry Dulac, that the Steelers don't take a quarterback in this draft and are ready for Mason Rudolph to start unless Rodgers, for the lack of a better phrase, comes around? Is that basically a possibility, or you think they do add a rookie with a Friday night or a Saturday pick, and that kid has a shot to compete with Mason Rudolph if Rodgers stays in Malibu? Gerry, is that really a possibility for the Steelers?
Rich, I think that they will come out of the draft with a quarterback. And because they don't have a number 2 pick, and they are, a lot of people want to think they want to get that number 2 pick back. I'm not saying they won't, but I can tell you they are not sitting here thinking we need to get that number 2 pick back. They are content to look at DK Metcalf as their second-round draft pick because that's what they gave up to get him. So now you're going from number 1 to number 3, which I think is 83rd.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I don't see them taking a quarterback when they know they need to get another running back. And they are never averse to taking a wide receiver, and that wouldn't shock me either. But I can see them drafting one of the rookie. Drafting a guy to be a backup, not a contender for the starting job, in the 4th round. I can see that happening. But even if they don't sign Aaron Rodgers, Rich, they're going to go sign a veteran quarterback because they never go into
who? There's no Tannehill sits there, and I know he and Arthur Smith have a connection, but he didn't even play last year.
Desmond Ritter, Carson Wentz. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be those guys,
but Desmond Ritter is why Arthur Smith is the offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh.
I realize that. I'm just looking at some traces that could possibly happen. All I'm saying is, but this is the problem with waiting on Aaron Rodgers. You lost out on a couple possibilities, Jameis Winston, Joe Flacco. That is the one downside of waiting for Aaron Rodgers. But they are not going to go into a season with Mason Rudolph and then a rookie as the backup quarterback. They have never done that in their life. They always have 2 veteran quarterbacks. They always keep 3 on the roster, unlike most teams. And 2 of them are experienced, starting capable. I'm not saying the backup, is a Hall of Famer, but, just go backward and, the Charlie Batches and Byron Leftwich. And even when they brought in Mitch Trubisky, when they drafted Kenny Pickett and they had Mason Rudolph, that's what they believe in that position. So they're not going to go into the season with Mason Rudolph, Skylar Thompson, who have a hard time making the team anyhow, and a rookie quarterback. So Aaron Rodgers or no Aaron Rodgers, a veteran quarterback will be added somewhere.
What about Kirk Cousins, Gerry? He sits in the number 2 spot in Atlanta. We all know he doesn't want to be there. And the irony of Arthur Smith getting a quarterback from Atlanta would be rich. But that said, that's not a bad option.
It's
right.
That's correct. And I will tell you that is part of a thought process. The question would be, how much would the Falcons try to hold up the Steelers for Kirk Cousins? A 36, 37-year-old guy. The Steelers are certainly not going to invest a lot in terms of maybe draft capital to get Kirk Cousins. And so, but that would be a possibility. I would think it would be somewhere between possible and slim. But I will tell you that it's part of a thought process. I just don't know how serious it is.
Yeah, especially if they're looking at 2026 potentially for their quarterback of the future. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.